Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassandra from Brianna Budget, and I'm going to be talking about my month 5 and month 6 blog update. So why do I do these videos? So I do these videos because when I first started as a blogger, I wanted to know anything and everything there was to know about blogging. And I did find some income reports and some how-to videos, how to get started with blogging, how to make money blogging. And I do think that they were helpful, but it just wasn't enough for me, just because I want to know everything there is. So I'm creating these videos for future bloggers who want to know what that experience is like. I hope you find my content helpful. So I'm going to talk about my 5th month blogging. June 2019 was my 5th month blogging, and during this time I am continuing to implement the strategies that I've learned from Making Sense of Affiliate Marketing course. And I mentioned that I purchased this a while back in a previous video, I believe, way before I even started blogging. So I spent a good chunk of time dedicated to reading it. And now that I am a blogger, I am going back to revisit it. So now I think it's time for me to start implementing my affiliate strategy indefinitely. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it's a little scary. It's a little scary. I feel it's scary because I don't know, it's just new. I have these doubts of like, am I actually gonna be good at this? And I think that just tends to happen when things are just unfamiliar. Or something that I've learned this month about blogging is that I've kind of realized that up leveling in blogging is kind of like starting a new job. So when you start a new job and you're training, you in a role where you have no experience in, you don't have previous skill, everything is new, you feel uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. And it's very similar to blogging. So when you're training for a new job and you're learning how to do your first task, you're fumbling a lot, you're not really sure what's going on, how things work, and you're a little nervous. But then once you get some time practicing, you get better at it. And then it's now time for you to learn a new skill. And you have to build on from the previous skills that you've learned. And just when you're starting to feel comfortable again, you get a little scared because now you're a fish out of water all over again. And so I'm kind of like the manager who's like, all right, you're doing great. Now it's time to take it to the next level. And I'm also the employee who's like, are you kidding me right now? So it's an interesting dynamic that I have in my head, but I feel it's important to continue to push myself whenever I'm getting too comfortable, because then I know that I'm not growing. So I'm sure everything will be fine. I will eventually be good at my affiliate strategy, and this will be a video that I get to look back on and think about, like as almost like a video diary of my journey for myself. There was a time where I absolutely sucked at it, but we all do when we're first starting out, so something to just kind of keep in mind. As far as my affiliate strategy goes, I really want to make sure that the affiliates that I use are keeping me in line with my overall goal, which is to help my readers succeed financially. And I'm going to do that by trying to provide value at every single opportunity in every single blog post. And I really only want to recommend products that I personally use or that I think is actually going to be helpful to people. There's just nothing that bugs me more about the blogging space, especially as a personal finance blogger, than going on Pinterest, looking for something specific, clicking on an article, and becoming really disappointed with the content you read because the affiliate strategies or the affiliates links are just littered throughout their blog post. They're linked to things that you take 2 seconds to click on and you automatically get this feeling that it's untrustworthy or the blogger is just trying to make money off of you. And it just makes me never want to go back and read that person's content again because I know what to expect from them. I know I'm going to be disappointed. I never want to have that impression or leave that impression on any of my readers because I want so badly for people to want to read my blog and to want to come back and find my tips that are actionable and actually helpful to them. So I'm really, really careful in how I implement my affiliate strategy, that I'm not just putting a bunch of links in there that don't make sense just because I want to make a couple bucks. You lose so much. You lose so much by doing that. You lose a lot of, maybe you make a couple bucks off of people, but you really impact your long-term readership, and you're not going to end up winning in the long run. So that's my 2 cents on that. And during this time, I also purchased the She Approach to Making. It's so hard not to read this, you guys. During this time, I also purchased the She Approach to Making Pinterest Possible. That was a mouthful. And I spent a little bit of time implementing some of Anna's strategies. So, for example, creating more boards on my Pinterest page or my Pinterest profile, and filling in the descriptions so I can give Pinterest's algorithm a better idea of what my profile is all about. And during this time, I also realized that group boards are actually still important. I went back and did a little analysis of a pin that I posted to my Tailwind tribes last month that went viral, and I looked at how many group boards were shared by this one user, and she shared my pin to 19 group boards, and I think that had a huge impact on its virality, considering I only belonged to 6 group boards at the time. So I definitely think that the group boards are helpful. I think they are useful still, despite what I've read in the past. I think that maybe they're not as effective as they were previously, but that doesn't mean that they're not still effective now. I think that they're still effective in comparison to no group boards. You're just not going to have the same amount of reach. So I'm continuing to focus on applying to more group boards. I like to do it in my spare time while I'm watching TV, so I don't really feel like I'm working too heavily. So that wraps up my 5th month blogging. Moving on to July. July was my 6th month blogging. During this month, I purchased Tailwind Plus with unlimited tribes. I shared 2 pins from the blog post 8 Successful Habits of Debt-Free People, and I got 55 shares in less than a day, and in the days they just kept coming. So that might not seem like a lot to people, but I'm really optimistic about expanding my reach to as many people as possible. So here's the thing. Technology changes every day. Platforms change every day. They change their algorithms every day. So I think that if something works like Tailwind Tribes Unlimited, where you're able to pay to like expand your reach, I think it's really important to take advantage of that. Of course, you can be the judge of whether or not that's valuable to you, but to me, it makes sense to double down on something that is working, because tomorrow they can change the algorithm and they can reduce the organic reach, and then there'll be a new strategy, and it takes time to get reacquainted with the platform, and then that'll be something new for you to learn. So for me, it just makes sense to just double down on what works right now. I really like Tailwind so far. I love that I can schedule my pins ahead of time. There are people who prefer manually pinning. There are people who like manually pinning. I honestly can't even imagine, you guys. I have like no patience whatsoever, and I'm crazy forgetful. So I would rather just have Tailwind do all the hard work for me. It's really great. And so I have a huge win to celebrate, you guys. I made my first affiliate sale this month. It was so exciting. It was only $1.50, but let me tell you, that $1.50 felt like $150. And $1.50 doesn't seem like a ton. You could argue that like I could have just like picked that up off the laundromat floor, but to me it was everything. It meant that it validated that all the writing and the editing and the promoting that I do like was actually worth it. It was as if somebody came to my blog and they were like, you know what? I like what you're writing and I like what you have to say. And you're a little bit of a cool character. I like that. You give good advice. And I'll tell you what, not only am I going to take your advice, but I'm going to give you $1.50 for it as well. And so to me, that $1.50 wasn't found, it was earned. And it just meant so much to me, and I'm so grateful. There just is like nothing like your first affiliate win, like your first affiliate sale. It's never going to happen again. So I'm happy that I have my first, and it feels good to document it and share it with you guys when you guys do eventually read this post and watch these videos. And during this month, of course, I'm continuing to apply to group boards. They are important, so, you know, just apply a ton away. Group boards, group boards, group boards. And besides the one blog post, 8 successful habits of debt-free people, I didn't work much else on the blog. I know that people say consistency is key to having a good blog, and I totally 100% agree. But I have noticed from my own personal observation that on Pinterest, I usually discover new bloggers when they're about a year or so into being a blogger. So I'm hoping that my readers have the same experience. I had a content calendar when I first started blogging, but I ended up learning that it just took me too much time. It took me more time to actually write and edit blog posts and film and edit videos. It just took me a lot longer than I thought. And I'm also not a full-time blogger. I do a bunch of side gigs that help me pay rent. So my hope is that I will get better in time, and I will be able to dedicate a little bit more time to the blog in the next coming months, which I'm looking forward to. And I would say overall, I am really satisfied with the blog progress thus far. I am just really looking forward to driving more traffic to my page and becoming better at filming these videos for you guys. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the year has in store. So that wraps up my month 5 and month 6 blog update. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.